What's going on? Welcome back, ladies and fellas. Welcome back to another episode on the podcast at hand, the Refinery Worker. I'm your host, Shaq the Beast, and we're here to just talk about life in the refineries. It's definitely, obviously, I've said it in previous episodes. It's not for just anyone. It it definitely it's not for the weak-minded, and the only way the weak can actually survive is if they're surrounded by a bunch of strong-minded, strong-willed, hardworking people. Usually, they carry them on their backs. They carry them on their shoulders. They make sure they make their paycheck for them, so to speak. But there's a lot of things that we could talk about as far as refinery hands and just refineries and being in the plants. I'm gonna just talk about an experience I had my first, I want to say day or two. First day or two, I was in the refineries. I was in one that's major in Baytown, Texas, and it was my first time ever in a refinery, and it was it was a weird experience because of the smells. Obviously now I'm like nose blind to just the scents and the smells and just the whole atmosphere of the refineries as a whole. Whether you go into a polymer plant or an oil, whatever, you know, it doesn't matter. The smells, they're potent, they're pungent, they're strong, and your first time there can be definitely a doozy. First time I got there, I had a headache. I want to say for 3 days because of the smell. I just wasn't used to it. I wasn't used to how my clothes smelled after I got off, and I would wash them like immediately. And it got to a point where I was nose blind to it, quote unquote, nose blind. And, I just pretty much just got used to the smells and just the whole atmosphere. A lot of the times you walk into a live unit, and then some of the pipes, they're legit pumping off heat upwards to like 1100 degrees. And I know this for a fact because I was in a refinery in a unit out in Deer Park, and I was watching the insulators bring these big boxes of insulation. So I looked at the box and I started reading it. And it was the middle of August, and the unit was live, and they were re-insulating these. They kind of look like onions. They look like they're spheres, and the insulation was rated for up to 1200 degrees of heat Fahrenheit. Yes, yes. So even the smell of heat and steam, it got to me, and it took a while to get used to that. Going back to this unit in this refinery in Deer Park, boy, when I tell you the things that you have to deal with in the refineries, it's going back to what I had said before. People talking about, oh, you got the toys and you got the money. It comes with a cost. Here's a story. I was in a unit, and I was a scaffold builder at the time. This was before my crane and rigging days. And um, our permit was written out to us. And on the permit, it tells you the permit gives you permission, no quotations, permission to permit. It permits you to do work in that area. And it has to be followed to a T. The unit you're in, the date you're working, the piece of equipment you're working on, the amount of people that are on that list. So it's kind of rules and information at the same time as to what you can do. So in this unit, on our permit, we were allowed to work for 15 minutes, and we had to take a 40-minute break. There was no ifs, ands, or buts about this. If you got caught, now, and this is pretty much any refinery, if you get caught going outside the guidelines or doing something else or working on another piece of equipment that's not on the permit, you can be fired, blackballed, banned, whatever you want to call it. You're pretty much kicked out. So, literally, that 14th minute, we started getting ready to come down and go down and take a break. They had tons of water on ice, tons of Gatorade on ice. They had a cool down station with AC pumping enclosed areas so we can go take a break. So I've never hallucinated. I've never taken drugs that would make me hallucinate, but this was the first time I ever hallucinated. It was so hot. I sat down on a little platform, and a gentleman that was on my crew, he laid out beside me or behind me, and we just closed our eyes for 5 minutes. It felt like 40, but it literally was 5 minutes. In that little 4 to 5 minute span, I saw a bead of sweat come off my back, grow arms, legs, and a face, and run down my back. I thought I was freaking the fuck out. So I kept that piece of information to myself, which I shouldn't have. But then I guess another break after the break that we were on, I had mentioned it to the guy that was behind me. And he had looked up at me with this blank stare, and he was like, "No fucking way." He said, when I laid down behind you, I started seeing shit myself." So we both shared this piece of information, and we didn't share it with our supervisor. So we waited and we waited. We got the work done. We pounded down Gatorades and waters. We were mixing them up, and we safely got the work done. But when the gentleman and myself told our supervisor about it, he was upset with us because I guess he felt we needed medical attention, and we never brought it up. But just the smell of that unit and how hot the heat smelled, if that makes sense. And just going back to the first day I ever stepped foot in a refinery, it's crazy, down to like the littlest things like smells. And it's it boggles my mind, the things that us as refinery hands endure every day we go to work, along with the dangers that come with even, hell, a unit that's adjacent to us or next to us or behind us or a plant on the side of us or whatever. Our lives are at risk every minute, every hour we're in there. But like I said, even down to the smallest things that you take for granted or overlook, like smells. It's just crazy. It's crazy. Ladies and mullets, thank you for having me always. Y'all are the best. I just want to say thank you for listening. Thank you for always being there. Like, subscribe, comment, do all that good jazz, and share it and everything, man, because I'm just trying to bring awareness to people that may not know about the refineries, and just be the voice of the people that are in the refineries. So I just want to say peace out, ladies and mothers. Be safe first and foremost. Put God first. Those are my dogs. Probably getting into something, but yeah, I want to thank you guys. I love you guys, ladies and mullets. Be safe.